Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. When the world first heard that Chinese actor Menglong had fallen to his death in Beijing on September 11, 2025, many assumed it was a tragic accident. But within hours, social media began to tell a different story. Clips surfaced. A terrified voice said to be Menglong's, crying out for help. A phone that vanished. And now a resurfaced name that shakes the industry to its core. Tonight, we ask the question haunting millions across Asia. Did Menglong die because he knew too much? In the weeks before his death, Menglong seemed to live in two parallel worlds, the glittering realm of television fame and a quieter, darker one that only a few close friends ever glimpsed. He was known to stay up late, sitting alone by the window of a small cafe near his apartment, jotting lines into a worn leather notebook, pausing often, as if measuring every word against a hidden fear. People who met him during those nights described him as polite but distant, his eyes searching for something no one else could see. To many, he looked like a man carrying the weight of a truth too heavy to share. It is said that you had grown increasingly uneasy with the realities behind the curtain of show business. The industry that had built his success was, in his view, suffocating from the inside. A place where contracts became cages and creativity bowed to profit. He had seen promising actors break down under relentless schedules, and young trainees abandon their dreams after years of silent exhaustion. Sources later hinted that Yu was determined to change things, to expose the imbalance of power that thrived on obedience and fear. Some believe he was gathering proof, perhaps names, documents, even recordings that pointed to a pattern of coercion within his agency E-Media, one of the biggest in the country. Those around him recalled that he often spoke about integrity, how truth once uncovered could not be ignored no matter the cost. But there was a shadow that followed him. Sleepless nights, canceled meetings, sudden changes in behavior. He became careful with his words, turning off his phone mid-conversation, deleting social accounts, and avoiding public events. Friends thought it was exhaustion. Others sensed he was being watched. Whether real or imagined, Yu's fear was growing, pressing in from all sides. Yet beneath that fear burned something stronger. A conviction that silence was no longer acceptable. And it was that quiet resolve, that unspoken defiance, which many now believe led him directly into the storm he could not escape. The turning point came when the name Lu Jiarong resurfaced, a name long buried beneath the industry's carefully constructed silence. She had once been a rising actress under the same agency as Menglong, a bright figure with a radiant smile that masked the exhaustion in her eyes. Years ago, at the height of her fame, she vanished. No official explanation was ever given. Her final post before disappearing read only, "I am tired of being a puppet." Within minutes it was erased, as though she had never existed. For a time, her story was treated as another tragic rumor swallowed by the fast-moving world of entertainment. Yet when Yu's death was announced, her name began to return like a ghost echoing from the past. Fans started drawing unsettling parallels between the two cases, both artists signed to E-Media, both known for their quiet integrity, both crushed by the same invisible weight. Anonymous voices on global forums claimed that Yu had discovered what really happened to her, that he had been collecting fragments of truth others had tried to destroy. Some even suggested he had compiled a private record on his phone, a file of names and evidence connecting a network of exploitation hidden behind the company's polished facade. That phone, which friends confirmed he always carried, was never found. Officials stated there was no foul play, but eyewitnesses insist they saw the phone in the hands of investigators before it disappeared from the report altogether. It is this missing device that haunts the story most. A small object that could have spoken for him when he no longer could. In its absence, what remains are questions, countless and heavy. What was Yu trying to reveal? Who feared his voice enough to silence it? In the public imagination, the two stories have fused into one, the vanished woman and the fallen man, each caught in the same web of silence. Their connection may never be proven, but their parallel suffering has exposed something larger than both of them. A system where truth is fragile, and those who chase it risk vanishing into the same darkness they sought to expose. What makes Menglong's story so haunting is not only the mystery of his final hours, but what it reveals about the fragile human spirit behind the masks of fame. Beneath the glamour of flashing lights and red carpets lies a quiet battlefield where ambition collides with conscience, and where survival often demands silence. For those who live in that world, speaking the truth can feel like stepping off a cliff, each word carrying the weight of contracts, power, and invisible eyes watching from above. Yu's tragedy is a mirror reflecting this uncomfortable truth, that the entertainment industry, celebrated for creating dreams, can also become a machine that consumes them. Yet even amid the pain, there is something profoundly human about what followed. After his death, ordinary people, fans, journalists, and strangers, began piecing together fragments of his life, like archaeologists unearthing a buried truth. They archived deleted posts, saved screenshots before they vanished, and documented every change in official statements. Each act, however small, was a quiet rebellion against forgetting. It was as though Yu's voice, once silenced, had multiplied through thousands who refused to let him disappear a second time. In their determination we see a rare form of unity, a reminder that compassion can survive even in the coldest systems. People who had never met him began lighting candles, not for an idol, but for a human being who tried to stand against the weight of his world. His story inspired new conversations about mental health, exploitation, and dignity, not only in China but across borders. The shock transformed into empathy, and empathy into resolve. Yu Menglong's death is not just an ending, it has become a question that refuses to die. How much must a person risk to live with integrity? In the silence he left behind, others are learning to speak. And perhaps that is the truest legacy he could leave. Not fame, not scandal, but the awakening of a generation that now dares to look beyond the glamour and see the cost of keeping the truth alive. To this day, there is no confirmed link between Yu Menglong's death and any alleged scandal. But the questions he left behind continue to echo. How much is truth worth when speaking it could cost a life? And who will have the courage to finish the story he began? Perhaps one day the missing actress Lu Jiarong will be found, alive or not. And in her silence lies the final chapter of a mystery that still unsettles the Chinese entertainment world. Until that day, the public keeps asking, the light keeps shining, and the darkness keeps retreating. Because truth, no matter how long it hides, always seeks to be seen. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Update X24H, where we continue to explore the untold truths behind Asia's most fascinating stories. Your support keeps independent storytelling alive. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay kind, and never stop seeking the light.